Hey, thank you, Pratik. I think if you want to start recording and make the guests co-hosts, I think you can start with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Who is joining by what name?
I think Anand
Mr.
Ratna. Anand is one, and I think the other one is Shamalji. Shamal.
Anand. Okay.
Anand and Shamal. So,
Oh, Shamal, I see. Okay. Shamal, we belong. Okay. I can make her co-host. Okay. And Anand, you said. Okay. Where is Anand? I don't see Anand. Is there? By the
Anand, Ratna, Arun.
Oh, Anand Ratna Arun. Okay. Oh, that's you are here. Okay, I see. Okay, let me make you co-host. Okay, you are okay. Both of you are co-host now.
okay, I think I want to take this opportunity to welcome both Shamalji and Anand to our Ana Vihara. As Pankaj mentioned, this is 14th year running non-stop every Sunday. So just brief introduction about Shamalji and Anand. Anand and Shamalji, you can add to whatever I have said, but just brief. Shamalji is a counseling psychologist and initiator at We Belong Mental Health Initiative and holds a master's degree in applied psychology with a specialization in counseling psychology from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. Additionally, she has a South Asian diploma in narrative practices. Her experiences her experience includes working with children and adult survivors of child sexual abuse, trauma survivors, and individuals encountering various mental health challenges. As an intersectional feminist, Shamalji approaches her work with an anti caste, queer, affirmative stance informed by social justice principles. Anand is a research scholar in material science in IIT Bombay. He co-founded Maitri, which is a partner in We Belong Mental Health Initiative. Maitri coordinates with the SC/ST students across India to cater to their mental health needs. He is also a founding member of Ambedkarite Students Collective at IIT Bombay. I will leave it with Anand and Shamalji to take next. Thank you. Anand, Shamalji, yeah, you can start your video also if you want and can get started.
Thank you, Sandeep ji, for introducing us. Jai Bhim, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Jai.
Jai Bhim. First of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about our mental health initiative here. I think I'm really honored by this opportunity and we'll try to keep it brief. But at any point, if you have any question, do let us know. We would be happy to answer all of them. Anand, do you want to say anything before we start?
I just want to thank Anna for giving this opportunity. And thank you, Sandeep ji, for the introduction.
Okay, I'll share the screen and then I'll start. Mhm. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes.
So before I talk about We Belong, I just want to set some context why we are doing this work and how it started. So maybe some of you have come across the mental health initiatives or come across how psychotherapy works, how counseling works, and you may have your own experiences with counseling, but as we see in a larger context, these concepts are majorly adapted by Western culture, westernized concepts of what is okay, what is not okay, and which is also focuses on person's mental health or well-being is an individual issue rather than focusing on how our mental health or our well-being is situated in our surrounding, in our systems around us. So that's why when we are talking about mental health, it's very important to contextualize the mental health. We cannot talk about the mental health without talking about our identities. So when I say the identity, it means each and every identity we possess. It means our gender identity. It means our caste identity. It means the location we belong to, the language we speak, and in combination of all these identities, uh, how our mental health is going to be, it decides. So we cannot talk about mental health in isolation. We cannot treat the mental health as an individual's issue. But unfortunately, it's been like this, where we are only talking about mental health in the context of individual and not as a problem at the community level or problem at the systemic level. And there are some initiatives, there is some progress happening where now we are recognizing how systems do play role in our mental health, but also there is a limitation for that. We are talking about gender, we are talking about class, we are talking about other aspect, like in western people are talking about uh, black people's health, the people with colors, their mental health, how it is different from other white people's health. But when it comes to Indian context, people do hesitate to talk about caste as a one of the factors that can influence the mental health of people. So if I have to talk about what we do, it means when we talk about the mental health challenges that students face, or the suicides that are happening in all the institution, all the education institutions, or there are dropouts rates are really high. So when we are talking about these mental health concerns or the well-being concerns or suicides, we cannot treat it as an individual's issue. It is not an individual's issue. So there we need to treat it as the community issue. If it was the individual's issue, it wasn't happening at this larger level. And that's why from there we felt the strong need, not just strong need, the urgent need to create the safe spaces for the students. Because when we talk about the suicides, we don't understand their background. No one talks about their caste identity, no one talks about their other identities. And that's why we people are hesitant, all the majority mental health professionals in India are still hesitant to talk about caste. When they are working with clients, they don't even utter the word caste in their practice. And that harms the client, that harms the person, that harms the community. And that's why we need to create the anti-caste approach when it comes to mental health. And that's how we started the We Belong initiative in 2023. So I'll quickly introduce, or I'll quickly share what we are or what we do. So We Belong is an initiative, it's a collective, is focusing on creating safe, supportive, and therapeutic spaces for Dalit and Adivasi community to take care of their mental health and well-being. So one thing we are trying to do is contextualizing. First, we are trying to understand and contextualizing mental health in the caste reality. We will be talking about mental health without talking about the caste reality, and then exploring and understanding people's lived experiences, how their caste identity influences their impacts their mental well-being, and how it shapes their mental health, or their experiences living in this world which is dominant by certain uh, caste identities. And once we understand, if we don't understand these identities, we won't able to tailor the mental health services for the community. And that's why it is important to understand their narratives, document those narratives. There is a lack of documentation of those narratives, those understanding of those lived experiences of people. So documenting is very important. and not just documenting, but we need to reclaim those narratives. We need to understand what we are experiencing is right. It's not in our head. It's not because we are lacking somewhere. It's because how systems are impacting our well-being. So we need to reclaim those narrative, and that's one of the aim we are hoping to document and help people to reclaim, and that would be the important part in terms of focusing on our well-being. And along with that, creating resources which are very specific, which are contextualized for our community. And how do we not just take whatever is there, which might not fit into our context. So how do we contextualize our resources, existing resources, and make it available for the community? Because uh, contextualizing is one thing, but accessibility is another thing. So we need to do both contextualizing and making it accessible. So these are some of our hopes uh, with which we started this initiative. And we have Maitri along with us with our initiative, which I will be speaking about. So before we talk about our initiative, what we do, what are the projects, I would like Anand to talk about Maitri.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Shamal. So, Maitri is a group of, I can say, around 25 to 30 students across India, southern India, northern India, central India, everywhere. And many of them are medical professionals, some are engineering students, and a few of them are working professionals also. And we all got together very passionately to work in this area of mental health and to look at this caste and tribal experiences and its intersection with mental health. And we started with providing counseling services for students because it might be inaccessible for them. There is a very big trust factor which comes in the educational institutes, like whether I can approach the counselor or not, whether that counselor would understand my experiences or not as a Dalit or tribal student. So we started with that, and we also work as an advocacy group. We release podcasts in this area, and uh, after we got in touch with We Belong initiative, we felt this initiative to be in very much in tune with what we wanted to do, and we basically work like arms for We Belong, and we help in whatever possible way we can. If there is any student who has any specific needs, any, it could be related to career counseling, it could be psychiatric help which a student might need, so then we connect them with the resource person, or it could also be uh, general counseling which they might need, and some information which they might need. We try to connect them with right people, and then help We Belong with the social media promotion, and make it more accessible to people across India, students across India. So that is how we have been in close connect with We Belong initiative. Thank you, Shamal. You can go ahead with now.
So the first initiative that we started is a support group. So basically, support group is a space where you talk about your experiences, you connect with other peers who might have the similar experiences, and there is a facilitator who is a mental health practitioner who would help, who would facilitate the process in a way that, in terms of providing the resources, in terms of talking about those mental health challenges, what to do about it, whom to connect, how to deal with those mental health concerns. So that's the role of facilitator. But majorly in the support group, when you share your concerns in the group and you see that you are not alone in the process, that itself is a therapeutic for many people. So We Belong support group is functions in a similar way where it's for only for Dalit Adivasi students, so that they would be able to share or talk about their experiences without any fear, because a lot of time their experiences are dismissed in other spaces, in other therapy spaces. So when we make it as a closed group, it gives them confidence, it helps them to open up. where they can talk about their experiences, talk about caste and how it's impacting them, and where we make sure it's not a neutral stance. We talk about caste, we talk about our anti-caste stance in that space, and along with that, that helps people to enhance the sense of community. Along with that, it also helps to feel emotionally supported by other peers, by facilitators. And a lot of time when we talk about the individual therapy, it's not only expensive, but it's not accessible, it's not contextualized. So it helps also people who are not able to access the therapy on individual level. It helps them to access some amount of mental health support in a form of this support group. So we have been running this support group for past year, and this support group is happening twice in a month. We do it once in 2 weeks. It's a free of cost support group which is conducted in English and Hindi language, and we have been receiving a lot of support in different forms. We have been receiving support in the financial form from different members, various members from the community who are based in different parts of the world. So this is our initiative. If you have any question, you can ask us about this initiative more. And we are the team of 4 at this moment for this initiative, but there are other people also in this entire team who are helping us. So Ritika and C are co-facilitators. I do facilitate the sessions with them, and Anand help us with coordinating with students, mobilizing them and connecting them and reaching out. So Anand basically does all that work. So in last year, we have done 24 sessions. We got around more than 500 registrations for this support group, and more than 250 students attended this session in 2000 last year. Uh, uh, the students were from 21 states in India, and they were from 17 different colleges and universities across the India, and some of them were from outside India. Apart from this support group session, we also secured help for 14 students on the one-to-one basis through providing them contacts, connecting them to different groups, providing securing funding for their counseling and psychiatric help. And our support group is also recommended by IIT and IIM faculty to their students. And when we collected their uh, feedback, a lot of students said they felt safe, connected, supported. They've experienced the sense of community and belongingness, which is a lot of us experience or struggle during our academic years because of our identity. And that was really nice to hear that they could experience some of these things which they are struggling at their institutions, which was our hope to when we started this initiative. So these are some of the testimonials for students who have attended the session. We also have some of the students here today, so maybe we can invite them to talk about their experience with this support group. And I
Thank you,
think
Sham.
someone raised their hand. Would it be okay if we take questions later?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Shamal. We were actually quite happy that some of the students agreed to participate in this meeting and share their experience. So we have Biplab with us. Biplab, are you able to hear me? Would you like to talk?
Yeah, I can hear you, Anand. Can you hear me back?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can go ahead.
So it happened 2 years back. It was not a good experience, I can say. So, and I was hospitalized for 5 days, and finally I could make a complaint to the authority about the discrimination that I faced. But it was kind of mishandled, to say the least. and Anand was there, and he suggested me about the group We Belong, and that We Belong group, Shamal and the other co-facilitators actually were very supportive, humble, and I could really open up before them. So I could talk about like not thinking about the consequences, and it helped me like immensely to come back to life. Thank you. I'm
Thanks a
not
lot,
being
Biplab.
specific about the sorry, I'm not being specific about the names and location, but yeah, it happened.
Thank you, Biplab. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience and what you felt about it. I would request Srishti, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, Srishti, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I connected with We Belong 1 year ago, and that time I just like I just joined the college, and I was very happy that everyone feels happy when they newly join the college. But there were like some people who were like mistreating me and all, and they were excluding me because of my caste identity. Uh, that time I used to like feel that there's some issue with me, right? But then I got in like my mental health got very disturbed. Uh, then after that, I just saw We Belong, one of my friend advised, and I joined the session. And yeah, that in that session, it felt like I'm not alone, and there are more people like me. After that, also, um, I continued joining the sessions, and also Anand had like helped me in all the way possible.
Thanks a lot, Srishti. I understand it would be difficult for you to open up in front of so many people, and we really appreciate that you joined today to share your experience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I Okay, I would request Ritika, if you are there, would you like to share?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Jai Bhim, everyone. Um, as Anand told all of you, my name, I'm Ritika. I am a final year graduation student in Miranda House College, and yeah, I'm the first generation learner. So there have been so many challenges, and being a girl and being from very backward area, and also being the first generation learner, it has always been a challenging journey. And yeah, in the initial 2 years, uh, I was I was actually working hard so that I can uh, equate myself with all the elite students, and who those all have the privileges and all the skills, I would say, that are required for present time. But at one point I was feeling as if I'm at the dead end, where I don't know where to go, what to do, because after putting all the efforts in my academics, or being in the other societies, or being anywhere where I can acquire actually the skills, I was finding all those privileged students securing the reputed positions. So there We Belong actually played very crucial role for me, because at the point where I was criticizing my own self by forgetting my own potentials and the way long struggling journey, uh, there when I attended the first session of We Belong, I actually feel it as a safe and non-biased platform, where Shamal and Anand, they people like them I found there, and I find so many related stories. And after that I feel that it's not me who is actually feeling these kinds of things. It's actually just because we are living in a kind of society, and after having when all the experiences and concerns that we have considering the things and bringing out the important changes. So considering the things and bringing out the important changes. So all the counseling sessions which were being provided by Shamal, and all the debates, discussions we have uh, many times there on the session, they were amazing. And I really want to thank We Belong, Shamal, Anand for always being there uh, in terms of providing mentors, in terms of providing information that I always helpful. And I feel if these people are not there, then I don't think I would have getting information about all these things, and also try myself to expose with the outsider people. So yeah, this group has been all the time inspiring platform for me. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Ritika. Thank you so much. And we have ourselves felt that we were not having mentors when we needed some help, we needed information, we needed networking. So that's what we try to do. We got some of our seniors who helped us, and just we try to pass it on to others who are junior to us, who are in their study journey right now. Also, as you might have seen, that we have scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students who join us for the initiative. So at the counselor level also, we try to maintain that diversity. In our meeting today, we also have Yancy with us. Yancy belongs to tribal background, and she co-facilitates the sessions. And also, we have Dr. Karuna with us, who is a gynecologist from Chhattisgarh, and she also mentors the students and also tries us to connect with students who might be having mental health needs. And recently, she also contacted us for help regarding two students who needed counseling and psychiatric help. And I think Dr. Karuna is with us in the meeting. Dr. Karuna, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Anand.
Yeah, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, good evening to everybody and to all the students. Thank you very much for sharing your stories. I really know how it's painful to talk about the incident, and we are really great that you're sharing your stories with us. But I also wanted to tell you that this story is same everywhere, not only in Central India, in North India, and in Western, because I had been myself studied at many places, and it's a journey of 10 to 12 years, but the course hasn't changed yet. I used to think that might be after some years, if we go together and if we represent ourselves in institutions, then we might can change the course, but I don't think so. So we started as a group, as a synapse in Chhattisgarh, where we can orientate our student about our backgrounds and these things. And the problem I seen in these students are the lack of the confidence, the lack of the belongingness, and the orientation that they don't have, that why they are facing the problem or the microaggressions and why it is so. So those students who can take up the struggle, the microaggression from others, and who are strong enough mentally, so they done well in their exams. But there are certain students who had diverted from the path of studies, shown chronic failure rates, and some of them we have personally oriented, helped them mentally, supported them. But I felt that there was need for something more, and that's when I got to know about Maitri. And 1 year back, since we were in touch, so Mathri helped us, Anand helped us to connect with Harshit, and where I definitely thought that my two students needed help, and that will really do well when once Harshit can help us. And still the sessions are going on, and I'm constantly in check with Harshit about it, and the confidentiality is also maintained, and the students are feeling better, and I think they will do very well in their exams which are coming right now. So thank you so much, Anand, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Karuna, for sharing all this with us. And I would just over to Shamal. Shamal.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, everyone. So with this, what are our future goals? So we are still have to reach to a larger population. We need to expand our reach and make the services, make the support group, individual level services, mental health services more accessible to uh, people, or not just student, but people from the community accessible. We need to enhance the resources. We need to create more support system, not just the support group, and we need to focus on how we can contextualize these resources and make it available for all the students, even if they are not able to attend the support group, but they need to know that how to tackle certain situation, because no one is talking about this kind of situation. Like if someone is experiencing microaggressions or discrimination, how it impacts the mental health, how it is the result of that, and what can you do about it, and how to look after your mental health. So we need to create some kind of documentation, some kind of resource building, so that people would know that what to do, what to expect in this situation, and how to deal this situation, so that they won't feel that it's only happening with me, something is wrong with me. We need to document these narratives of people, how they have been dealing, how they have been managing this, because there is also there is the only one right way of coping, or dominant way of coping with this mental health challenges, which might not fit in with the students or the people from the community, which can be very different way of dealing with this mental health challenges. So we need to document that as well, because if our generation or our previous generations are surviving this so far, it means we have the wisdom. So we need to collect that wisdom, we need to document that, and we need to pass it on to the in the community to the next generation. So we need to collect those narratives. We also need to collaborate when it comes to advocacy. We can't do it alone at this platform. We need to connect with educational institutes, other governments, or whoever are the stakeholders. And we need to advocate the need for caste sensitization and need for caste aware or anti-caste mental health services in all the educational institutes. So we need to do that. Apart from that, we also need to do the capacity building of existing professionals who come from the community. So there are many professionals who are mental health professionals, but it's always a risk to come out as a Dalit psychologist, which can directly impact their work. So how do we make them more strong, or how do we make them aware? How do we create a stronger support system or community of professionals within the community, so that people from the community would have the resources, so that they can go to the people from the community who would understand their concerns in a better manner. Plus, people from the community would able to form their professional community inside within the mental health spectrum. So that's there. And apart from that, we also need to sensitize the other professional mental health professionals in terms of caste reality when it comes to mental health. So these are some of the goals we have in long term. But for this upcoming year, we want to continue with our mental health support group. We want to do it by monthly, or rather increase the frequency as we reach to uh, larger number of students. Apart from that, we also realize there is a strong need for in detail workshops on a very specific topics, such as how to deal with feeling I'm not good enough, or questioning self doubts, or lack of confidence. So these are the very common concerns, or loneliness, or self criticism. So all these are very common topics that we have been seeing over the last year that people are talking about. So there is a need to do in detail workshops, in detail seminars on this topic so that it would be further helpful for the students. So we are hoping to do workshop once in 2 months on these specific topics that students have recommended for this year. So we are hoping to do that. And apart from that, we also get a lot of inquiries regarding needing assistance, financial assistance in terms of making therapy and psychiatric help more accessible. So we are also hoping to get help in that aspect where we can support students who cannot afford the therapy, who cannot afford the psychiatric help. How can we make it more accessible for them? So we are hoping these three things for this year uh, when we are thinking about this initiative. And yeah, so what we are hoping from all of you, that definitely one is financial support so that this work will be sustainable. We want to do it in a long term or on a large context. With we want to reach more people. Apart from financial support, we also want people to collaborate with us, uh, help us to reach to larger student groups, and collaborate with us in any context in terms of their expertise, in terms of volunteering, in terms of helping us with the specific topic. And yeah, definitely. Important thing you can do is engage with us in terms of talking about mental health in caste context, and talking about our initiative, referring students to uh, our support group sessions and spreading words. So we are hoping this support from all of you. And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And I think some of you might have some questions, so I'm happy to answer that. Anand, do you want to add anything?
Shamal, can you scroll up? I think is the slide still there below?
Below? No.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I forgot the budget for this year. So last year we had a support, financial support from some of the community members. For this initiative, we are hoping that support to be continue, and as we are adding more elements to this, so this year our budget is 3,000 USD. Anand, do you want to add anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Shamal. So actually, one thing what we do is the support group sessions, which are coordinated by Shamal and other mental health professionals. Apart from that, uh, another very important thing is the students reaching out to us. So in the past, we were little helpless in that sense, because when the students approach us, it is in a very, like, very needy situation when they approach us, and if we have to refuse to them, it feels really bad on our part also. So we tried, like, in that situation only, we tried to contact some of the people whom we knew that they could fund us, and in that moment we found some people who could fund, and we could help those students. But we want to, for this coming year, we want to keep some part of our funds dedicated for this particular help. Like, we don't primarily work as a mental health service provider, but if suppose some needy student approaches us, then we should be able to help them also. So that's what we want to take care. That is another important part we want to do in the coming in this year. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shamal. And I think we would like to take questions, and if anybody wants to ask any queries are there, we would like to answer.
Right, Shamal and Maitri, yeah, thanks for this initiative. I just dropped request on the chair how to fund this, okay, and be part of this initiative. But this is very much needed. Thanks a lot for sharing your objective and what you have done so far.
Thank you so much, Vilasji. we would reach out to you after the session. Probably we would give you more details about it.
Yeah, sure. I'll drop note to your email ID. Okay, for my
Okay, sir.
contact information.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ratik, are you there?
Yes. Is there anyone who want to have a question, who want to ask a question to our guest?
There's a hand raised from Pankaj Ji. Ratik, please invite them.
Yeah.
Yes, Pankaj, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Shamal and Anand. It's a great initiative. I see lots of value in there. My question is more on a financial side of it rather than anything else, as to where are the counselors coming from, where exactly would be the finances needed. Will it be going directly towards helping out the students' need, and how are we documenting those things as to what kind of need people come up with, because you would be in a position to kind of interact directly with the students. And if there are other models we can think of in that situation, so for example, like mentor mentee kind of support thing, where we can say like, here is such and such student and some of the donor can be a mentor to that, outside of the medical counseling that they need the support for, or something like that, that can be tag along. We also have other programs that as ANA we run, or as Ambedkarites in NRI groups we run. Like, for example, we have a weekly call which we run for the information on higher education and career opportunities. And those may be useful forums we can collaborate with your students, your people that are approaching you can join on those ones to see if there are other better opportunities and how to kind of avail those. So that's the sort of questions I have. I don't know if you had any split on your budget used last year, and where the exact funds were utilized for. And then I have one follow-up after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj. I think, so we can share the split up, the breakdown of our budget, in detail, budget with you, and we can share it over an email, or maybe we can email to Anna, and so that's there, and definitely. So when we are talking about the support group, so one, this counselors or facilitators. So primarily for this year, I was the facilitator for these sessions along with other facilitators. All the facilitators are either from the Dalit community or tribal community or Adivasi community. So that's the background of facilitators. Uh, this funding is used to make the support group sustainable. So it's towards the facilitators. Third, it's direct help in terms of when it comes to financial aid for therapy, making therapy accessible. So in that situation, the direct funding would go to the student who are accessing the therapy, that would go to their therapist. So we have list of therapists from the community who are like taking clients. So if anyone comes to us, we refer them to this therapist, and if we have funding, we help them with the funding, and that's how we utilize the budget. Anand, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, I think you already mentioned. I just wanted to emphasize that the therapists who are connected with us, they are all from SC and ST communities, and we have prior information about them. Like there is a mental health channel on Instagram who had compiled this list, so we got this list from them, and also those who are in our personal contact and those whom we have confidence about. Those are the therapists whom we rely on when we are referring the students.
Okay, and second, my follow-up is on a line that I would like all your current donors too, like if they are in US and things like that. We are a non-profit organization, so any donation they make to us, that would be tax exempt for them, and that we can divert that towards the project because we take up multiple projects in that way. So instead of encouraging people to kind of be an individual donor, I would want it to be more like an institutional project. So that would be something that I wanted to kind of bring up in here. That we don't want it to be dependent on any particular individual. It needs to be geared towards institutions, so that if somebody is there, not there, for whatever reasons, the things needs to kind of continue. It should not be on a personal basis. So any thoughts in, I mean, you already had kind of structure in you had organization, website, this, that, but are there any other structures in place where, say, for example, Anand is not there tomorrow, then what happens? Or Shamal is not there tomorrow, then what happens? So thank you.
Thank you for this insight, sir. Really, Anna has been there for like 14 years. So these are the most important questions and most important suggestions which we are getting from you. And sir, currently we are in the process of registering Maitri. We are going to register it as an NGO in Mumbai itself, either in Mumbai or in Delhi. Like we have some issue regarding the residence. So we are trying to get it sorted and we'll register it. And like further after that, getting funds and everything might become little easy, but it will take more time. So in the meantime, if Anna is able to help us to get funds in their trust or organization, it will be really great for us, and that's a great help you have offered. And also in the longer run, how we see, we have students who are like juniors to me. Like I am doing PhD, there are students who are undergrads who are part of our team, and in a way they could have more workload, so we don't give them more work from our organization, but we keep giving them hints and we keep giving them smaller projects to get acquainted, like what we are doing, how we are doing exactly. So the next line of team is ready, and once uh, the present team is not able to cater to the needs so much, then the next team will come into action. So this is how we see it in the longer run. Shamal, you
Yeah.
want to add something?
Yeah, so the one of the purpose we are building the community of professionals within our community is that so that even if tomorrow I'm not there, someone else will take that session, and that's why we need to make it as a model where no one has to stop if one person is not there. So, for example, today I am facilitating the support group with Yancy. So Yancy is kind of also taking up, or she understands that how the support group works. So tomorrow, if I am not there or I'm taking up another project, I am doing other work in the initiative, Yancy can lead those sessions. So we are training the existing members or existing professionals so that they can slowly they can pick up other like this support groups or different works. So it would be definitely not dependent on the one person. It would be more of the collective structure that we have in our mind.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Pratik, if I can squeeze in one more question, otherwise
Yeah.
I don't wanna just take up the whole lot here. So let me know. I can ask later.
I think Miss Smita has a question. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya, everyone. First of all, it was so heartening to listen to all the students narrating their own experiences. Thank you for getting them. And thank you so much for this initiative. This is a much needed initiative. And I feel you all are doing an amazing job of finding professionals within our community who can empathize and understand our issues. And also you are what I understood was you are also training the next level of leaders, so that when anyone is not available, there is a backup to take care. And I hope that cycle will also continue further, which is amazing. uh, and the only question I have to you is, how are you trying to scale? And where are you getting funded from? Is it just individuals who are funding you, or are you approaching any corporations, anyone else to get funded? And how are you planning on scaling? And my second question is, being Anna, I know you have said you are registering, and we can collect funds on your behalf. But as Anna, how can we really support you in this initiative? What are the other things that you need from us?
So to answer your first question, how are we trying to scale this up? One, we are doing multiple things simultaneously. One is the reach out. So we are trying to reach out larger groups of students at different level, different institution level, so that we can reach towards larger group. That's the one part. Second part is that we are also training professionals. It means that when there are many people, we'll also simultaneously have many people to conduct more support group sessions. So currently it is happening once in 2 weeks. So we are hoping to change the frequency to once in a week, with the once in a week frequency. Then what we are hoping to do after that, currently it is it's a combined support group for Dalit Adivasi student. Then we can make it more specific, like we can talk about just Adivasi student, we can talk about Dalit women, then we can talk about Dalit queer. So what we are doing, then we can make it more specific, make it more currently it's a general, but maybe in future we can like make it specific to different groups within our community, so that further that context would be built. And apart from the support groups, we are also hoping to do other things that would help with the mental health, such as workshops, then also creating the community of mental health professionals, so that we have one-to-one support in that context. And eventually we'll also need to think what can be done at the community level. And going ahead, we are also hoping to translate the work we are doing as a document and translating into as a research thing. We can do documentation thing, the advocacy thing that would help us to uh, like reach to the another level of advocacy. So this is how we are hoping to scale, but definitely not immediately in this year. We want to also make it sustainable, so we are taking one step at a time. So that was about the scaling. Sorry, I forgot the another question you asked.
How, as Anna, can we provide you support? Because our one of our missions objective is also healthcare. And what can we do to support you?
Hmm. Definitely the financial support in terms of making this initiative sustainable. That's the one thing. In terms of collaboration, if Anna wants to pick up one project and run it collaboratively, we can do that. So that is another option. Third would be or training for this professional. So if you have experts on your team, that would be the another thing. And definitely the awareness part, because you have been here for a very long time, and reach is there. So we want you to spread word about our initiative. So that's from my end. Anand, do you want to add anything here?
I just wanted to add a bit of a specific information. So generally, what happens, we get for each session, like bi-monthly session, we get registrations around 30 to 35, and students when they join for session, we'll have a number around 15, and we have seen that 10 to 15 participants is a number which can be handled during a 1.5-hour session. And when we go for a larger number, we would actually need 4 sessions in a month. Weekly we'll need 1 session, because 10 to 15 number can be managed. Lesser than that can also be managed, but more than that, then it becomes some issue. So that is where we'll need to scale up. And
Got
this is
got
also, sorry ma'am, so this is also by intention that we don't go for any very large promotion or anything, because we know that our limitation is also that we are having only 2 sessions, and then we can cater to 10 to 15 of them. Yes ma'am.
Okay, so what I am understanding is there is more need uh, than resources at the moment.
Yes ma'am, actually, if uh, the way we see, uh, if we do more aggressive promotion, we'll have more registrations, and then we'll fall short of providing them what they need.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. I
Thank you ma'am.
think Pankaj to ask follow-up questions. Sorry, I came in between, so I would let Pratik deal now.
Mr. Pankaj, would you like to ask your question again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you, Smita. But my follow-up questions is, as a organization, we are kind of helping out student. We have footprint in education. We've been doing that for more than since our foundation. That's the main founding principle, is to help students in educational field. So as part of that, a lot of your students would have some need related to their education, maybe their job search, maybe what better they can do, things like that. So you can right away tap into those resources for us. This online Vihara is another resource that people can tap into right away. They can join it every week, and take advantage from here, and join those weekly sessions of the educational support. They can go for the career guidance. So there are a lot of things that we are currently doing that you can definitely ask your students to tap into. Obviously they need to be in a sound situation themselves too, and that's where your help is kind of gonna be on the ground, one-on-one, or whichever way you conduct those sessions, helpful. But my other suggestion would be, when you are approaching to the providers, especially if they are coming from the Ambedkarite or Adivasi kind of background, they would be compassionate about helping their services at a lower cost, at least, if not make it free. So that would help you have, instead of one, maybe there are two counselors at the same session. Those sort of things are possible to do, and we should also take it in that direction when we are approaching to our providers, that this is something that they can look at as a payback to society. So few suggestions like that, but definitely tap into ANA resources that are currently happening. They are on a weekly basis, and readily available. It's just that I don't know how many people can take advantage of it. If you would have started our Vihara from the beginning, we have Bhante on the call. So obviously, if people see these issues, especially related to any mental health challenges, having a Bhante's presence or a religious support in their thinking or their in that process would be a extremely beneficial feature for them. Especially we know their background and we know where they're coming from. So that would be additional suggestions that I had for you guys. But thank you for the great work you guys are doing.
Thank you, Ms. Shamal, and thank you, Mr. Anand, because this is very important session that you have given to us, and it is very important that the mental health issue for our community has been a big issue for the students. And I personally think that is very important because a lot of our students are really suffered in their academics and all other things. And the caste is really a critical issue when it comes with the academics. So I think it is very helpful for our students. And please, I would like to say we would like to support you. And this is the one of the greatest initiative that you are taking. And I would like to again say you thank you so much for your initiative. Is there any question? Yeah. So please, Mr. Vivek sir, you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Anand and Shamal, for the initiative. My couple questions are: you folks are the students, correct, at the university there, or you are the
Sir,
professional practicing?
sir, currently I'm a research scholar at IIT Bombay. Shamal
Okay.
has completed her studies.
She has completed studies. She is practicing she's a licensed counselor outside, or she just
Shamal,
assisting you?
Shamal, you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
So, as per India's credential, I am a counseling psychologist and I have been practicing since past, it's more than 6 years now.
Okay, so you are legally allowed to provide services.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and the scope of your services, it is just within the IITs or it is also outside?
Yes, sir. So we have been able to approach students all across India, and we have found that most of the students who approach us, they are from Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi, and like these are major primary chunks of states which from where the students come. But there are students from all across India. We have seen some percentage from Gujarat, some percentage from Andhra, some percentage from Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So all across India is present, but some states are predominant and not restricted to only IITs or medical colleges, but to all the students across India.
Okay, and how are you guys counseling? Just online nowadays?
So, sir, one mode is the support group session, which Shamal conducts along with the co-facilitator. And among those students, some of them will approach us later through email and they will ask us that I have this specific need. What do you suggest to me? Then we talk to them one on one and then we try to assess what is the requirement. And then our counselors take the call whether we have to go for counseling, one on one counseling, or psychiatric intervention, and then they decide.
Okay, who determines these factors, like whether the person needs psychiatric intervention or just the one-on-one session, personal counseling?
So, counselor, Shamal, I think you can explain that
Yeah.
process.
Okay.
So, usually what happens, usually these are the students who are attending the session. So when they're sharing, we get a glance of what kind of problems they are facing and at what stage they are. So we get to know, we get some idea that how's their mental health at this point. And then when they reach out to us, usually one of us get on a call with them. So when we speak to them, we understand what is the situation. And usually, most of them know that they need the therapy. It's just that it's not accessible, or it is not accessible financially, or they don't have a therapist who can understand their concern. So what we do, we refer them to the therapist. Also, when we refer them to the therapist, we are also in the touch with the therapist. We do check in with the therapist how they are doing, and sometimes therapists update us if they need a psychiatric help without breaching the confidentiality, definitely. So We also check in with the student, how is the therapy going, what they need. And if the therapist and the student, both of them decide or they feel that they need the psychiatric intervention, if they need the medication, then we refer them to the psychiatrist. We also have some of the psychiatrists from the community. So that's the usual process that we follow.
Okay. Just going back to the questions, how do you find out the root cause of the problems? Because unless you treat the root cause, the superficial care won't be effective. How are you trying to find out these root causes so that you are hitting the problem where it begins?
Yeah, so it's a very there is no one root cause to what person is facing as a challenge. Every person is unique, so they have a unique identity. So it's very important, and some of the identities are common identities. So when we meet, it's the caste is the common identity. So when we talk about the experiences, we know some of the experiences are common, that my professors are not listening, they're treating me differently. I am facing certain challenges, I am getting excluded from my peers. I'm not, there is a microaggression, there is a discrimination. So that's the one thing that is causing their mental health is getting impacted, that is impacting their study. So from sharing, we understand the common root causes, but also when people work on a one-to-one basis, they also understand that's not the only issue. So with certain people, there would be extended family concerns at their family, that financial, it could be the domestic violence, broken families, or addiction in the family, that can add into the existing issues that they are facing at the institution. So that's how we need to look at both individuals issue as well as the common issues. So we try to address the common, which are the mutual or the common issues in the support group. And if someone is struggling with individual level as well, then we refer them to the therapy, which can be addressed in the session, in the support group session.
Okay. Just a follow-up question. I may have multiple questions on these issues, and so I was visiting Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and your experiences maybe like when two institutes combined, the institution may have a different experiences, at their own level. One is capable of doing better than the others, because they have a student group very strong, versus IIT may not have the strong group of coalition among the Ambedkarite and SC/ST population. So have you collaborated with the Tata Institutes where the mental health is at the very, that is where the basics are taught? Have you communicated with those people? And you probably maybe from that sector, so you probably know that. And there are many students who feel pretty comfortable. They don't seem to have that much of issue. My experience could be different. I just hear from people, so I don't know what your take on that, and see if these two collaboratives can be made together. So the reach would be wider. Where the people from our community can benefit more.
Okay, I'm just trying to answer this question at my best. So again, yes, Tata Institute. I studied from the Tata Institute. I have done my masters from the Tata Institute. Yancy is studying, is the second year student in TISS. So definitely Tata Institute is the one of the institutes who speak about um, mental health concerns and talk about the systemic causes. Still, there is a certain lack or certain lack of understanding of mental health in the context of caste. Uh, there is a caste is discussed in a different aspect, like livelihood, community development, or challenges of Dalit and tribal community face. But when it comes to mental health, there is, though these two schools are part of the same institute, there is still some disconnection between them when it comes to caste. So we are still trying to bridge that gap, and some of the students who also attended are from the same institute do experience the similar experiences of caste discrimination, even with those institutes. So that's there. We are also hoping to connect with institutes in future, that how we can collaborate. We are hoping to connect with SC/ST SAIL and the mental health department, or mental health school, so that we can reach out to more people and find some way to bridge that gap, so that it would be like better initiative, I guess.
Yeah, Yancy, you may
Yeah,
speak.
and
I think
please
Yancy
add.
wanted to add something. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, Johar, Jayavim, everyone. So currently I am in Tata Institute of Social Sciences, second year. So what I see currently is one thing. So there is one school of social work where we can still see some um, awareness or sensitivity. But the other school, like the mental health, like the psychology school, um, like I as a student, what I observe is still the faculty. There is no faculty from SC/ST community. There is no faculty from Muslim community or other marginalized background. So in the coursework, it's the perspective is very much um, it's not there for my personal experiences. And currently I am also trying to do my research on tribal students, and I need guidance from my faculty, which is not available, because the perspective, like what Shamal said, that we talk about mental health, we talk about community mental health, but there is very much a lack of insight of how caste or tribal issues are there. And like how Samal said, there is a need to like educate, and then advocacy of so there is like one thing, the narrative is more into like the marginalization and not about resilience, like how what we usually talk in our support group, that because of marginalization, like still we have a resilience, but it comes more into like the personal experiences, that you coming from a marginalized community, and that's why you are having these issues, to approach that this is a social issue, but like very much like there is very much lack of that in the current situation of like in our department, and also how the administration and the government is playing in the college. So I guess there is a very much need to like protest, and then to have those faculty, because it's also the power, like if faculty speaks, like there is very much uh, restriction in the college spaces, like Tata Institute right now, what I can say. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to, try to get in the conversation, way to understand, this caste, is a pretty big factor in our community, and there could be multiple issues as well. What I just offer the suggestion, because you are on the ground there, and definitely to collaborate with multiple groups of population, because there's significant population I met when I was visiting in April, uh, and I visited this. And so I think, definitely grouping around our community members definitely brings the strength and the diversity. And, because, and at this point, your organization is not registered, so the funding would also be the problem for you guys, and sustainability. What if after you guys, Anand is a research student. He probably would be done. After he finishes, what happens to the organization that you created? Shamal is a private practitioner. She's in the community. Would she have the same space available in the institutions? And and not being, the money is required almost every aspect, because your target is the whole India, so I think you need a lot of resources. With that resources, you also need the stable organizations, registered organizations, where you are able to take funds, and opening the NGOs means, meeting all the criterias and all that thing. I think the ground level groundwork needs to be done, and definitely this is a very great initiative. Still I encourage, there are a lot of central universities where you might want to tap in the resources, reaching out to those people, from our communities where facing the similar problems. Unless until you have this diverse and nationwide outreach, you know, our stories would be untold, and may not benefit from the resources that you are trying to create. I hope, this is a successful initiative, and any resources or, support that Anna may provide, but definitely, the basic things needs to be done first, and we can certainly talk about later on logistics. This may not be the right forum. We're just trying to understand the problem of our communities. So I wish you well and good luck, with all these endeavors that you have taken in the hand, and definitely, hopefully, benefit the society in the process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivek sir, and for your kind words and also guidance. I think your work and whatever Anna is doing, it is an inspiration for us, and also it builds the path for us to walk on. And we'll definitely try to take care of things which are needed for building a more sustainable organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Ms. Shamal. Thank you, Mr. Anand. And is there anyone want to ask a question?
No, yeah, this is Sandeep. I just want to sincerely give my Jai Bhim salutes to the whole team, mainly to Shamalji and Anand. I know this is very close to your heart, and it's close to my heart too. Actually, as a student, when I was 18 years old and traveled from Hyderabad to IIT Kanpur, and I was all alone and all, I missed opportunities like this. So there is even though I was in the preparatory course, which is just meant for SC/ST students, still I kind of didn't have this kind of support, or at least I was not aware of it. And we do believe that there may be big institutes for the namesake, but there is no support system, especially for SC/ST students. So in the way, it should be. So thank you for doing this. I think, we will work closely. I'll be there for whatever I can do, and we'll work closely with Anna. Thank you, Anna, for giving this opportunity. Okay. Thank you. I know, and just for people who don't know, other than this, there are several other things which I think, especially Anand and others are also involved. I think probably were, for this year, first time, I think in IIT's history in 2023, the Baba Sahib Jayanti was officially celebrated with students' involvement and directors' involvement and things like that. And then there are suicides, and then there are post-support needs of after suicides, how to support the students, their families, and all. I know, Anand, you were supporting that kind of thing and all, but this session was specifically for this. So as Vivek Dada and others mentioned, I think we should build network with all the like-minded groups, like-minded organizations, and scale this initiative. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shamalji and Anand, for coming, and thank you, Anna, for the opportunity.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Sandeep sir.
Pratik, you can take over, if there are any questions you can take, or we can conclude the session.
Yeah. So is there anyone who had a question, or we just conclude the session? Please raise your hands or we will conclude the session. Okay. So again, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Shamal and Mr. Anand, for your information session. And it is very helpful for our community to have a mental health care. So I would like to again say you thank you. And today we will conclude our this session. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you, everyone. for attending our session.